If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles and have an auto warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all, listen up. CarShield has a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that covers more parts than ever. Visit carshield.com/audio to find out how you could pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Get your free quote today at carshield.com/audio. That's carshield.com/audio.
Hey, it's Kim Commando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to commando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. Okay, I always like to start with something interesting, and it happened this past week in Plymouth, Massachusetts. A 34-year-old guy was following his GPS instructions down Stevens Lane. He went past the dead end. He went into the rocks. He went into the sand. And that's when his car came to rest right before hitting the water. That's right. This GPS was telling him to drive across the water to get to the other side. People, use common sense, okay? You can't always trust your GPS. Just look around. Hey, and speaking of GPS, did you hear about the new GPS made specifically for anyone over the age of 75? Have you heard about this? It tells you two things. Not only does it tell you how to get to your destination, but number two, it tells you why you wanted to get there in the first place. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another hour of America's largest show about all things digital. It's your most trusted source. And it's called The Kim Commando Show because, after all, I'm America's digital pro, Kim Commando, here with you once again. And you can find us all across the United States on over 425 fabulous radio stations. And then we're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Commando. And you can find us streaming as a webcast, as a podcast, whenever you want, 24/7, all 3 hours and 3 months of archives over at getkim.com. You have a 30-day free trial, by the way, and after that, it's just a few bucks a month. And that address, again, is getkim.com. And a special thank you goes out to our servicemen and women in the Army, the Marines, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and Space Force who are protecting our great nation and listening to us on the American Forces Network Radio. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And just a quick reminder, you can always email me your questions too. Head over to the website, Commando with a K, of course, and on the right-hand side there's a link that says Email Kim. All right, so you know the drill. I just scour the news wires and sites, and I read every single thing that goes across my screen. And I want to keep you up to date with 5 things that you need to know about tech. And in this part of the show, I like to focus on consumer tech. What's coming up? What can you buy right now? I want to make a difference in how you use your devices, what you buy, what you spend your money on. And Apple rolled out their new products this past week. And let's start with the new watch. I'm going to go fairly quickly over the specifications on these Apple products. But if you'd like to know more and to get in depth, just hit the website at commando.com. So the Apple Watch Series 8, it's bigger, has an always-on screen, it's Retina, it's crack-resistant, waterproof, dust-proof now. The battery lasts 18 hours on a full charge, which is pretty darn good. They have a new temperature sensor for ovulation. Crash detection can contact emergency services and contacts. They say that the fitness data is encrypted on the device. And it's only accessible with your passcode and data sent to the cloud encrypted end-to-end. It's going to be available in just a few weeks, September 16th, and the GPS model goes for $400. The cellular model, which means you don't need your phone around, is $500. Now, there's also the new Apple Watch SE second generation. It's more affordable. It's $250. It doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles, but it does track your workouts, emergency SOS, crash detection, and it's in all kinds of different colors, midnight, starlight, silver. And then they have the new Apple Watch Ultra. Now, this watch is pretty phenomenal. It's for swimmers, runners, cyclists, divers, hikers. It's for active people, okay? It's corrosion resistant. It has tough sapphire glass. It's titanium. 36 hours of battery life, or 60 hours with this optimization setting. It's really cool. I was thinking about getting it just for this. If you add the Oceanic app to it, it replaces your Scuba Dive computer. Scuba Dive computers are over $1,000. So imagine you get the watch, and then it does all this, and then you can go down with you. The watches are cellular, and you can order yours right now for $800. It's going to be available on September 23rd. They have some new AirPods Pros. They say it's twice as effective with the noise cancellation as the original ones. 6 hours of battery life, 33% better than the original AirPods Pro. These things are expensive. They are $250. Now, for new iPhones, they have just the iPhone 14, the 14 Plus, then the Pro, and then the Pro Max. And of course, it really depends upon what you are going to use the phone for. And how much you really want to pay is really what it comes down to. There's a 6.1-inch iPhone 14, the 6.7 Plus model, which is not to be confused with the Pro and the Pro Max models. So the flagship phones are the Pro and the Pro Max, and always on display. And you get notifications, a lock screen. It says the True Depth camera uses 30% less space. They have dynamic islands, 48 megapixel Pro camera, better light, all kinds of new specs. Now, the Pro starts at $1,000. The Pro Max starts at $1,099. They say you can get up to $1,000 off when trading in a qualifying iPhone. I went to see what my iPhone Pro 13 Max would bring, and it was $720. So I don't know where they're getting that $1,000 from. So should you buy one of the new iPhones? Well, before you buy a new iPhone, if you have an older iPhone and it's iPhone 8 or later, make sure that you download what's coming out next week, the new iOS, because a lot of the features on the new phones and watches are actually built in and they're baked right into iOS 16, so you may not even need a new iPhone. Now, of course, I've got to buy it because that's my job, but otherwise, I wouldn't buy a brand new iPhone 14 Pro Max because I got the 13, but I have to do it just because, like I said, it's my job. Let's just skip right to number 4 on our list because that's a lot of Apple stuff. Number 4 is malware, and it has a brand new way to get into your phone or your PC. So the folks who distribute malware have identified a brand new target, and they're going after it big time. Talking about games that your kids are playing, games that you might be playing. So let's start with the ones for kids. What's the number one game for kids? Anybody? Yes, Minecraft. And what's right after it? Roblox. And then there's also Far Cry and Call of Duty. So what I want you to do is warn the kids not to go crazy and download any free skins, no mods, don't be getting any of these loot boxes, because that's how the malware is being distributed, and it's getting on PCs and also on phones. And we're talking about malware that will steal your credentials, your information, as well as malware that's going to use your computer to mine cryptocurrency without your knowledge until you're sitting there like, why is my computer running so slow? What's going on? Of course, Minecraft is the most popular game attackers are going after. Why? It's one of the biggest games for both computers and phones. So if you're playing it, or maybe the kids are playing it, just make sure that you warn them that they really, I know it's so tempting for them to go out and get these free loot boxes and mods and skins and things like that. But it's free for a reason, because it's going to be planting this malware right on their system. And finally, number 5 on our list of 5 things that you need to know that's happening right now is never ever throw away an old hard drive. Now, this is a story I've told you about before, and I have an update for about it at the end. But if you've never heard the story about James Howells, I'm going to tell you about him right now. He bought 7,500 Bitcoins for almost nothing back in 2009. That was when he was in 20. And the hard drive on which he purchased the Bitcoins ended up in a drawer because he spilled a drink on his laptop, and he took the hard drive out and he just stuck it in the drawer. He kept it there, and then suddenly he's like cleaning out his office, and he's like, I don't need this hard drive anymore, and he just throws it away. So when he threw the hard drive away in 2013, the value of the Bitcoins was about $7.5 million. But the hard drive is now in a landfill in Newport in Great Britain. So he's been going back and forth with the city council saying, please let me go look for the hard drive, please, and I'll give you a percentage, and they keep turning him down. He has now gotten funding from some venture capitalists. And he's going after this hard drive again, trying to figure out how he can get it out of the landfill. He said that he's going to employ a professional team, and he knows when he threw it away, so he could use a grid reference to find out where the hard drive is buried. So remember, he purchased 7,500 Bitcoins in 2009. On Track is that big data recovery company, and they say that the data on it is probably still there, even now, being in the landfill. And it's probably worth $150 million. Yes, $150 million sitting on a hard drive. And James was interviewed by the BBC this past week, and he says that he's now put together a whole list of incentives and good causes that he'd like to do for the community. He said what he'd like to do is go to the actual landfill site once they've cleaned it up and recovered and make it a power generation facility. And this will help the entire city, and maybe put some wind turbines there, and maybe create clean electricity to create more Bitcoin for the people of Newport. And the city council says, no, that ain't going to happen. We are not going to let you go through our landfill. So he goes back to it, he says, okay, so what if I give everybody, every single person in Newport, $50 worth of Bitcoins? What if I do that? It's going to cost me millions and millions of dollars. And the city council said, nope, we're not going to let you do that. We're not going to let you do that either. Newport Council says that all of his proposals pose significant ecological risk, which they say we cannot accept, and indeed are prevented from considering in the terms of our permit. And so we're sorry, James, whatever you wanted to do with us, we are not going to let you do, because you just threw away $150 million. Could you imagine that? Oh, gosh, the angst. All right, coming up in this show, we're talking about how you can stop sharing your phone number with everyone. And, of course, America's national radio game show sensation and podcast sensation is Brand New or Not True. That's where you have to guess which of the three products is actually true. We have our digital life hacks tip, 3 things to look for in smart sprinklers. Because, heck, if it's raining, you don't need your sprinklers on, right? I'm going to tell you how you can tell if someone was snooping on your computer and how you can get a copy from Apple of every single thing that they're tracking about you. And, of course, we have all of your phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And just a quick reminder, if you're not already getting the Kim Komando Show newsletters, oh my gosh, what are you missing out on? So much. That's right. Head over to komando.com/subscribe. That's komando.com/subscribe. And just pick the newsletters that you want. We have special newsletters now for Windows users and Apple, Android, small business, travel, you name it, it's over there. Head over to komando.com/subscribe. In just a few moments, how you can stop sharing your phone number with everyone and get a virtual number. But before we get to that, how about we start with Claudia in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Hello there, Claudia.
Hey, Kim. I have a question regarding, I want to make videos, and I want to use a teleprompter. It would be helpful anyway. And I got a MacBook because Apple is supposed to be the best with videos. And yet, one of the things that they don't have in there is a teleprompter. And you have to use a third-party app, and the third-party apps have the most horrendous privacy agreements that I am not really willing to sign. I mean, they're worse than most. And they want all kinds of stuff that, they shouldn't need. Anyway, so I wanted to know if there was a way around using one of those apps.
Well, first of all, I have to commend you, Claudia, because I think you're the one person in all of New Jersey who actually read the terms and conditions of an app.
Oh.
Because I'll tell you, and nobody ever does. And there's actually some legislation now that's being put forth in Washington because we all just say, yes, I agree. And then we're like, what's going on with that? Teleprompter apps are fabulous. I use them myself whenever I have to do a keynote speech. And what's really nice is that you can import a Word doc, a Google doc, and then you can set how fast or how slow. And you can also run them with your iPhone on a remote basis too. So this way you're not reaching over. So because what happens is when you start putting things, when you start writing, have you ever written anything for a teleprompter?
Well, I don't use a teleprompter, but I have written things to make a video with, yes.
Okay, all right, because a lot of people when they first get into this, they start using hyphenated words, and then the words will take the whole next line because it's trying to keep that word together. So you just want to keep that in mind as if you're writing anything, and numbers need to be written out. So like 2 would be TWO, obviously, instead of the number 2. But they are really, really great things. The app that I use, and I've used it for a long time, is just called Teleprompter. That's it, just Teleprompter. I mean, that's just the name of it. And I'll put some links up to a few. Another one is called Parrot Teleprompter that gets a lot of rave reviews, gets a lot of high marks. And then there's one called Selvi. Now, Selvi, and that's Selvi, Selvi is an interesting teleprompter application because you can actually put the teleprompter on your phone, you run the app on your phone, and then use your phone's camera at the same time. So I know you're going to be using your MacBook's camera, and it is really great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some links to the 3. I'm going to give you the one that I use, which is just simply called Teleprompter, Parrot Teleprompter, and then Selvi for anybody else if you're going to be wanting to do this. But if you're doing any type of videos, really, it is just so smart to use a teleprompter. You're just going to come across so well. But just remember, anytime you do video, I want you to slow down. So many times when people with a camera, they start speeding up and then start talking like so fast and nobody can understand them. So just remember, slow down. And you'll find those links inside the Commando community. Claudia, head over to commando.com/community. And then I'll put links to the 3 teleprompter apps that I picked out for you and the ones that I recommend and, of course, the one that I use. And again, thank you so much for your call. All right, still to come, we're going to talk about how to stop sharing your phone number with everybody. We have our digital life hacks tip. And, of course, stay right where you are. Brand New or Not True is up next. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's right. It is time for Brand New or Not True. And this week is brought to you by Epson. All right. It is time for Brand New or Not True. It's America's national radio game show sensation and now a podcast sensation where you can play along at home and guess, is it brand new or is it just not true? So, yes, there are 3 products. I totally make up 2 of them. That's right. They're just coming right out of this brain of mine. But one of the products is true. So 2 are fake, and 1 is true. Now, you'll notice that there are no names given for any of the products. That's because, well, some people have known to cheat. Yes, that's right. And they start Googling things. Oh, I got the answer, Kim Commando, I got it. And our special guest contestant that joins us every week gets an official Kim Commando Show fanny pack, which, by the way, the only way you can get a official Kim Commando Show fanny pack is by playing Brand New or Not True. I think it has a estimated value of, I don't know, $24.95. But, of course, it's the show, so it's priceless. Joining us this week is Vicki from Buffalo, New York. Hello there, Vicki.
Hi, I'm from Buffalo, Wyoming.
Oh, I have Buffalo, New York. You're kind of far from that. Yeah. That's okay.
That's okay.
Where is Buffalo, Wyoming?
It's on the north end of Montana and, north Wyoming and Montana border.
Oh, it must be beautiful up there, huh?
Yeah, we're right along the Bighorn Mountains. So. Oh,
nice.
It is.
Nice.
It has snow in there today, even.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that.
They got snow already today. So.
Oh, wow. Gosh, I'm like the rest of the world's sweating, but that's okay. We're all going to Wyoming now. So, all right, you ready to play? So we have 3 products, yep. And one's real and 2 are fake. Okay, we're gonna start with product number 1. All right. Tired of having a smartphone and using it for everything but a phone and making phone calls? Well, that's why you might want this type of new phone. It calls and it texts, but there's no Facebook, no TikTok, no Twitter, no Instagram, no games, no apps, no health tracking, no way to buy anything online, no way to send or receive an email, no way to use the internet. Believe it or not, Vicki, it's just a phone. It rings, and you press a button, you say hello. Or if you're a German cowboy, you say Audi. You talk, and when you're done, you press a button, you say goodbye. And there's a headphone jack, Bluetooth. It can be used as a personal hotspot. Works with any carrier SIM, $299. Okay, product number 2. So many millennials are moving back home with their parents walking around like they rent the place, but they may not have basic cooking skills. That's right. Parents don't want to offend their kids, but they have now an option that both teaches the kids how to cook and maybe gets them out of the house on their own. It's a brand new side hustle app. Here's what's happening. So many restaurants have delivery services right now. And so the restaurants are in need of people who can put together the orders. Maybe the head chef needs some help plating meals. It's not a full-time job, so nobody's going to feel locked down. Now, the best part is if they're not really good at whatever job that they get, instead of the restaurant giving the person a bad performance review, they just get awards for participation that they can then share on their social media accounts. It's a win-win. Pay varies, by the way, anywhere from $15 to $20 an hour, depending upon the job. Okay. And then product number 3, are you married?
Yes.
Vicki? Okay, see, you might want this. There's a brand new app that uses artificial intelligence, tells you how things are really going on in your marriage. It's all in the data. So here's how it works. Each person in the marriage creates a profile that keeps track of points for accomplishments. Family chores are listed. And once a week, the points are all tallied up. So you take the trash out without anybody asking, 1 point for you. Pick up the dog poop in the yard, 25 points. But let's say after making dinner and cleaning the kitchen, doing the laundry, putting the kids to bed, and one night you're ready to get your sexy back, that would be like 500 points. The app's motto is marriage is like a deck of cards. At the start, you need a heart and a diamond. It doesn't mean at the end that you need a club and a spade. The app is $5.99 in the App Store. So we have product number 1 is the smartphone that's just a phone. Product number 2 is the Side Hustle app for millennials. And product number 3 is the Marriage Meter app. So which of the 3 products do you think is absolutely on the mark, 100% true that you can buy right now?
Oh, boy. I'm not sure I'm going to get this one right. I'm going to say 1, but it's probably 3.
Okay, but
So,
one is your final
one
answer.
is my final answer.
Okay. All right. So Vicky's going with the phone. That's just a phone. It's her final answer. Let's hear what the judges say.
This is why we've intentionally designed a phone to be used as little as possible. It's a phone that encourages you to leave behind your smartphone, to spend that
just a
quality
phone.
time doing the things that you love the most.
That's
They
it.
call it
It's just a
going
phone.
light.
It's a light phone. That's what it's called, a light phone. It's $300. Vicky, you got it right. You did it. Yes.
Oh, I'm surprised. Thanks.
Congratulations. You're going to be sent an official Kim Commando Show fanny pack. That's right. So, what's on your mind today?
Well, my husband and I just retired, and so we live in Wyoming where it snows, so we became snowbirds. And we have a side-by-side, a UTV Polaris Ranger that we go trail riding in the desert in Arizona. And there's a lot of trails in Arizona, and I don't want to get lost. So I was thinking about getting a navigator or GPS that we could download some trail maps. But, oh, my gosh, we're not real tech savvy. So it's got to be dustproof, waterproof, all that, obviously. And something kind of easy. But I want to be able to know where I started and be able to get back so I don't have to spend the night out in the desert. It kind of freaks me out. My husband's a real adventure guy, so it wouldn't doubt that would happen. So I'm trying to prevent that.
Well,
there's so many. It's really overwhelming.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. And then when you're out in the middle of the Arizona desert, even if you wanted him to ask for directions, there's nobody to ask directions for.
Yeah. Well, and there's no cell service most of the time out there. And you just go, and you're like, oh, my gosh, all these draws look alike. And even the natives there say you can get lost. So then I'm like, oh, okay, that's, yeah.
No, it's easy.
Mountains
It
we
is.
can figure out, but.
No, it is easy to get lost because after a while, everything just starts looking the same. And you're pretty smart.
Yeah,
Now, the new
cactus
iPhone.
and desert.
Yes, that's it. The new iPhone 14 Pro, when in November, you can of course you can buy the new iPhone 14 now, but in November, it's going to have satellite connectivity. So in the event that you needed to send a text to somebody to get help for wherever you guys are, is that maybe something that you might want to consider? If you are in the market for a new iPhone. There's also a device that I've recommended for so many years, and I've actually given them to friends who I know are hiking alone or going outside alone, and it's a Spot satellite. The Spot satellite runs, I think they're about $160, and it's about the size of a hockey puck, and so you can put that inside your purse, your backpack, or your fanny pack, or whatever it is. And
there you go.
Where it happens is that your family members and friends can see where you are located on a Google map. And then if you ever need help, there's a button that you push, and then it contacts the nearest local emergency services with your longitude and your latitude. So just a little safety gadget that you might want to put into your whole bag of tricks there when you're running around on the Polaris. Okay, let's talk about the GPS now. Okay, probably the best maker of GPSs, and they have been for so many years, is Garmin, right? And Garmin has a GPS that is for, they say, ATVs or motorcycles. It's 5.5 inches, really easy to use. What I like about it is that you can actually get turn-by-turn directions if you connect it up to your helmet via Bluetooth or headset. It comes preloaded with off-road maps and public land boundaries and 4x4 roads, and has satellite images and all this kind of great stuff. And then you can also record your route, and then you can save it or share it for future adventures, right? So it's the it's the Garmin ZUMO, and it has an umlaut over. Yeah, the Garmin Zumo XT. We're gonna send you a link to your email to this over at Amazon, and for everybody else, you can
Okay.
find a link to it inside the Commando community. So if you go to commando.com/community, you're going to find a link to the to this particular Garmin GPS. That's really just made for ATVers and motorcycles. It's not cheap. It's $489, but you might want to consider also those safety gadgets that I told you about as well, Vicki. I'll put links to those inside the Commando community too. And Vicki, thank you so much for your call. It's time now for our digital life hacks tip, and this week it's brought to you by Angie. All right, speaking of your home, if you don't have smart sprinklers, I'm telling you, you're missing out. They're really amazing, and they're so easy to install, and then you get an app on your phone. And here's what you get if you've never looked at them. You get weather-based controllers. So think of your smart thermostat controller as a thermostat. It knows when to water the lawn based on weather conditions and the best time of day to get the most out of each session. So you just set it up, it connects to the internet to get local weather data. And the best time to water the lawn is early morning when the temperatures are cooler, and the smart controller, it actually knows that. Number two is you want to get in the zones. Think of zones as a group of sprinklers that run at the same time. Now, the bigger the yard, obviously, the more zones you're going to have. Now, grass in shady areas retains moisture better than grass in sunny spots. The controller knows to water the sunny spots more often. And again, it's going to save you water. It's going to save you money. And whether you need 2, 6, or 16 zones. Then you want to match your smart sprinkler to your smart home. So what's your ecosystem? Is it Alexa? Is it Apple? Is it Google? And then here are our 3 picks: the Ratio 3 8-zone controller, the Orbit Beehive 6-zone controller, or the Wise 8-zone controller. They range in price anywhere from $197 to $64. Again, you'll find links to our picks for the smart sprinklers as well as more about it. Just head over to the website. That's commando.com with a K, of course. And when you're there, just hit the link that says Kim Show. All right, still to come this hour, how you can get a copy of everything that Apple knows about you and is tracking you here on the Kim Commando Show.
How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim.
Hey, if you like really great quick tips, make sure wherever you get your podcasts, you search for My Last Name Commando and get our daily tech updates. And when you do get into podcasting, you're going to run across subscribe or follow a podcast. Now, subscribe doesn't mean automatically that you're paying a monthly fee to listen to the podcast. But I do want you to follow all of our podcasts so that this way, whenever an episode drops, you get it automatically, even in your sleep. So again, search for Commando and make sure that you do follow our podcasts. All right, back to the phones we go to Robert in Indianapolis. Hello there, Robert.
Hello, Kim. How are you?
I'm fantastic, sir. What's going on?
Yeah, I got a question for you. I'm an old guy that is not very computer literate. But anyway, I have over 200 photos I've had copied by Legacy in digital form, some of them
Awesome.
going back to the 1870s.
Wow.
And I've got them now installed on my 6-year-old desktop. But what
Okay.
I'm looking for is a program where I can organize these photos and put captions beneath them or near them so I can pull up one photo with the information of date, people, and place, and then send them to different relatives. And I have not found anything like that yet.
Well, you have come to the right place, sir. That's awesome. So what did you say? What's the oldest photo that you have? That's so cool.
It's from Germany, about late 1860s, 1870s of my great grandfather, and then I've got a number of them: 1880s, 1890s, 1900s.
Isn't that so amazing?
Yeah.
That we have this
I've
record
got
of
photos
history.
from both sides of my family, so therefore I can send my cousins on both sides different groups.
Wow, that's great. That's fabulous. Okay. I'm going to send you some links on how to do this. Okay.
Okay.
But probably the easiest way, are you using Windows or Mac?
Windows.
Okay. All right.
Windows 10. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to sign up and you're going to get a Google Photos account. Okay.
Gotcha.
And what's nice about Google Photos is that you can store your photos in the cloud, so you don't have to worry about losing any. But it also gives you the ability to create groups. It does some facial recognition, and you could say, give me all the photos from Germany. And then you can also, as you said, put some details, put some captions. And then you can also invite other people to give some information as well, which is also kind of fun because, you know, your cousins, they may have some additional information about that side of the family and those people that you had basically no idea was even there. And so I'm going to post some links for you over inside the Commando community, and we'll send those to you via email as well, Robert. And in case you're wondering, hey, I'd like to do that too, go to commando.com/community for the steps and stay right where you are. I can tell you how you can get a copy of everything that Apple tracks about you here on the Kim Commando Show. All right, if you use any Apple products, Apple's tracking a lot of things about you. Here's just a short list. Your Apple ID account details, sign-in records, data that you store, contacts, calendars, notes, bookmarks, reminders, email, photos, videos, documents, your app usage information, anything that you've purchased or downloaded, anything that you've browsed inside the stores, records of your Apple retail store transactions, any support tickets. To get your copy, go to privacy.apple.com. Once again, that's privacy.apple.com. Hey, thanks for listening to Kim Commando today. So reach over and give me a nice 5-star review. Yes, thank you. And thanks for listening.